Hi and welcome back to the course. In this video, we're going to be setting up our DNS settings using Cloudflare. Cloudflare is a content delivery network, commonly known as a CDN, and what it does is it sits in front of our server, so whenever anybody accesses our domain, they will actually be accessing Cloudflare, and because it sits in front, it lets us do things like store our site on their servers so it is faster. Or it gives us security and it lets us prevent denial of service attacks and a bunch more stuff. It's really a nice product and it's also free if you have low amounts of traffic, so we're going to learn how to use it in this video. The first thing we want to do is sign up, and that's fairly simple, just an email and a password, and as I said, you don't have to pay at all. Once you've signed up, you will be received and logged in, of course, you will be received with a website like this one. And here is where you can add your website. If you don't see this page specifically, just go to the Add Site button. So what we're going to do here and what Cloudflare wants to know is what our domain name is. So we've bought our domain name and we can just enter it here. So it is restapicoursetrial.com. Okay. And then we're going to begin the scanning. And what it's doing now is it's finding that we are actually the owners of this domain. Or rather, that this domain has been registered by somebody. Okay. Now that it has scanned, we can continue the setup. And that's what we're going to do. Okay. So here we can see that there are a bunch of things going on the screen. We don't really know what's happening. So let's find out exactly what's going on. It's asking us to verify that all our DNS records are listed. So what is a DNS record? Well, I mentioned in the last video that the domain name system is what allows a browser to enter a string on the address bar, and that then goes to a particular IP address. As we can see, we've got a row on this table here that says restapicoursetrial.com, which is our domain name, points to 192.64.119.216. So this is an IP address, and that's our domain name. And indeed, what will happen because of this DNS setting is that when we put restapicoursetrial.com on our browser, really our browser is going to be going to 192.64.119.216. Okay, so that's what this first record means, and evidently that's not the IP address of our server. That is an IP address that Namecheap owns and that they serve for us until we set our own. Then we've got a CNAME record, and the CNAME says www, and this says that this is an alias of parkingpage.namecheap.com. So we'll investigate exactly what this means in a few minutes when we set up our own, but essentially all that's doing is that when we access www.restapicoursetrial.com, really what we're accessing is parkingpage.namecheap.com. So essentially it's like a redirection sort of thing. And then we've got a bunch of MX records, and these are for email exchange. And these are in case we want to set up our email clients to use our domain name, really. And we're not going to be using that in this course. And finally, we've got a TXT record. And a TXT record, all that is just a piece of text stored against our domain. So in this case, we've got a string that says v equals spf1, include colon, blah, 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 blah. And that's just this piece of text that is stored against our domain name. The browser doesn't use it. It's only used by domain name system servers. Okay. So now we've got all of this stuff here, and evidently this is not our IP address, for example. This is not our we don't own this alias either, and we don't really own these mail handlers. But we're going to accept this for now, just because they are the default settings, and we're going to change them in a minute. So let's press continue. Then it asks us to select a plan, and we're going to go for free website. And what this says is basic security protection, which isn't much, but it is something. It allows us to improve the performance of our site because it caches the contents of the site. It stores the content in Cloudflare servers, so the access to them is faster. It gives us an SSL certificate, which is something we're interested in, and that essentially allows us to encrypt communication between browser and servers. And we're going to look at exactly how that works in the coming videos. And finally, it also gives us the always online, which is a protection against being down and our server going offline. The other plans, of course, give you more things. For example, the Pro gives you more SSL protection in all the browsers as opposed to only the main browsers. And it gives you a bunch more stuff and so on. But evidently, they get a bit expensive. So we're going to stick to the free one for now. And we can always go to the next one if we need it. And finally, we're going to update name servers. So this is important, and we're going to look at why this matters in the very next video. But what it's saying is that we have to change the DNS servers, the domain name servers. So the way we do this is we take a copy of the name servers that it's asking us to change to, so beth.ns.cloudflare.com and justin.ns.cloudflare.com. And then we go to Namecheap, and in our dashboard, so just make sure to log into your account and go to your dashboard. We're going to go into the domain that we've bought. And in here, we're going to go to Manage. And finally, we're going to change the name servers section. So we're going to, instead of Namecheap Basic DNS, we're going to go for Custom DNS. And we're going to add Beth and Justin here. Okay, and then press the tick. Okay, that is now changed. And we are now using Cloudflare. So let's go back to the Cloudflare site and press continue. And that's us done. We can press recheck name servers here to make sure that Cloudflare knows that we have changed the name servers, but name server changes can take a while. Here it says up to 24 hours, other sites say 48 hours. It can take a while to propagate across the domain name system. So give it a wee while until that is all cleared out. Okay, in the next video, we're going to look at exactly how DNS works and why changing these servers is important. So I'll see you in the very next video.